Give it the hoot, Nanny.
Hey everyone, welcome along to your Wednesday, well, in the shed night. We've been calling this for the last few weeks. Kinser and Booker here to keep you company for the next hour through to around 8:30. My good friend, you'll hear him on The Voice, hence the reason why the big promotion of our online Capital RC E-Series, which has been viewed by a lot every Sunday. He joins us as part of Bump and Run. Mr. Booker, how you going, Books?
Oh, I'm doing good, mate. I'm doing good. Yeah, ready for another good night of a night of facts tonight, I would say. But still a few laughs, I would imagine. I'm quite excited to hear from these two individuals, hear about the up-and-coming season and everything in the pipework and what's going on. Obviously, I don't think everything is going to be able to be released by these guys, but I'm sure they're going to be very interesting to talk to and probably clear a few things up with people's rumours and crap that goes on Facebook, I suppose. But yeah,
100%, mate. It's all about getting the facts out there as well, because you think about it, we're July now, get through August, September, and then October. Some race cars will be out there mid-October, some November, December, but time, it's always been short-lived in the off-season, and as we speak, one of the men that will be joining us, he just told us his son's out there working on the side rail. So everyone's getting busy with their race cars, I would guess, for Speedway season. Big welcome on board to everyone that's joined so far. Tanya, who enjoyed herself beachside. Tyler's watching as well. Daniel, Brian, Henry Deacon, Jace Coley over in Australia, Daniel Chalk, Thomas Jr. Hudinui, Steve Emmett, evening, and Henry Ford, Aaron McKenzie, Paul Mason. The list just goes on. Pete Rose, Susan, and many more. But let's just go back to last Sunday, mate. We had our West Coast Superstock Champs, the E-Series, at a very tough track. Wonkers down there, and we know turn 1, turn 2.
Mate,
tough, but
it did not disappoint, did it? Unfortunately, our winner for the night, E.T., Evan Tairoa, could not be with us tonight. He's on babysitting duties for the grandkids, so unfortunately we don't get to speak to him tonight like we thought we were going to. So I apologise to those that were hoping to hear from Evan, but I'm sure we'll hear from him before the meeting next on Sunday night. But yeah, what a night of racing that was. There was some pretty tight stuff going on there, and to make it finish the way it did, mate, it's just awesome. Really awesome.
Yeah, run off between three. Two M cars, obviously with Brad Wright and Todd Hemingway. And then, of course, the Sol P car with Evan Tairoa, as you said, third. Brad Wright came home third. Todd Hemingway, if I remember, he may have been the first. Is he the first or second real-life driver to get on a podium in our series?
I'm not sure, to be honest. I'm not too sure, mate. But I was a little bit disappointed in Brad Wright, old tank, eh? Man, How do you have two mount cars go into a three-way runoff and the Palmy car wins? I mean, what's going on there, eh? It's all good having mates, but like I say, Kinser, what do I say when I talk to people on here? It's all about track code. You can have your mates and your beer later. When you're at the track, you support your track code first, you know? I say that in real life, and I say it in sim racing too. I rang him the next day and I said, "Oi, what's wrong with you, man? You know, you should have been taking ET out when you're in third and letting Todd win it for bloody the Bay." But yeah, that's hard case, isn't it? It's because they take it pretty serious, these boys.
Oh, definitely. You know, it's no different to what they do in the real life as well on the track. We've often spoken about this on many a show, the track code and the friends and so forth. But the overall racing, when you take a look at their top 10 from memory, from when Steve Emmett, Dirt NZ, was giving out the points, there wasn't much in it. There wasn't much in it at all right across the whole blanket. And also the warrior of the oval, coming home third is Devil. Dan Curran, who's currently having a coffee in the shed, getting ready for his car and so forth. Second was the sponsor of the actual whole gig, Keegan Levine, 5W. And, of course, winning that, dare I say it, the guy you phoned asking what the hell he was doing in that runoff, Brad Wright, comes home. Brad's actually had a couple of podiums over the last few weeks. I'm pretty sure he's won the South Island champ the previous week. He actually won the feature the week before that. And now this is the second feature. So I got to say, that 8N must going to get a bloody target on him somewhere along the tracks.
After my comments, there's been a few comments here, our kids. If you ever look, old Steve Emmett, old Dirt, both Brad and Chris 56 have been racing for the Panthers all these years. True colours are starting to show now.
See, it might be only me and bloody Dirt out there going hard with the it might be just the two of us. Well, we'll stick together, Dirt. We'll stick together. Second, saying Cody Mack made it on the first round. Oh, okay, so there we go. There's a couple of real drivers that got there in the super stocks. Nope, thinking of our old friend. Yeah, I know how you're thinking about there when you say there, Brad.
Yeah.
Hey, Carl Carpendale. Yeah, and that's much of what E.T., if he was here with us, he would have made respect to a good friend who lived in Wanganui that we sadly lost, Richie.
Yeah, well, Billy's son was racing for him. He said he messaged me, and that's why he went hard to win that race. So that was pretty cool. But talking of, was thinking of motorsport and stuff. I mean, mate, the big talk this week. We are a motorsport show as it is, not just a speedway show. That great Kiwi driver, old Gisbergen, mate. Wow, did he school some bloody Yanks on the bloody week, didn't he?
He's a freak. You've seen the feedback all over Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, everywhere, and every American channel that's associated with motorsport, SVG, because the commentary struggled with Van Gisbergen to start off with. So they went with the SVG. But, mate, he showed him up, class talent, and I don't know what you can say. Freak of nature when it comes to motorsport. Yeah, I don't know.
I was pretty impressed. I watched some of the post-race interviews and stuff like that with the Yanks over there with him, and it was just totally different, you know, like, and to see him engage with the media, it must show that the media he deals with most of the time are just idiots or something, you know, because he seemed to be really engaged, didn't he? I don't know if you watched any of it, but it sort of makes me think, well, what's so different between the two, you know? But yeah, it was something different for me to see, actually, seeing that.
Yeah, there is a massive difference when you come to the media coverage over in America compared to, as I would say, down under with Australasia and New Zealand. It is a lot different. And credit to actually Gizzy, because he did it in an American way. But knowing that he had to catch a plane straight after his race to get back because he's got a race at Townsville. I think he's racing his 500th race from memory, if I'm right or wrong. But you know, he's got other jobs to do, and good to see Jamie Whincup has come out and spoken, and, you know, whatever Gizzy wants to do, that's totally up to him. He's not going to hold him back. So he's got a contract to race, 2024, I think it is. I'm guessing if NASCAR want him, the checkbooks will open, and we'll just have to watch this space and see what happens. But, you know, credits where it's due, mate. Class act. And the Americans felt it. The American racers have come out and spoken, and some of them said that he made us look like a bloody idiot. But that's a road course. That's what Gizzy does in the V8s. You know, honestly, it might be different when it comes to ovals, whether it's on the big super speedway tracks like a Daytona, Talladega, or it's on the shorter tracks you just don't know. So we'll have to wait and see what happens in years to come. But someone needs to give Gizzy a car at the 240s. That's Nigel putting in a comment here. I don't know. To be honest with you, mate, he's coming back apparently to do sprint cars.
Yeah, it's different though.
Yeah.
The old stock cars and super stocks, you know, like that 240 at Rotorua, mate. That first quarter, I mean, that my experience there for the first time at the 240s last season, that first quarter and stuff, mate, that blew my mind. I don't know how anybody can't be at the 240s after seeing what we watched that weekend, mate. That was just, mate, it blew my mind. But quick before we go to our first guest. We had Tony Mack on for the Daybreaker Rally.
Yep.
For those that don't know, the Daybreaker Rally's coming back. For those that remember the Daybreaker Rally, real cool. I see they got some real interesting stuff on their thing. I see old PTS Logistics. We all know who that is. Scotty Myers. Looks like he has joined in with supporting this event. And so, yeah, it's good to see that Daybreaker is starting to get some more momentum too, Kins. So the Daybreaker Rally, what's that, 22nd, 23rd of September? I mean, cool. We spoke to Tony and his offsider, and mate, it's exciting stuff, and it's good to see that they are really starting to get some momentum for that thing. So go and check them out, people. Daybreaker Rally, and of course, we can't do any of this ourselves. We're without some of our people that help us out. So the Keegan Levine for a Capital RC, huge thanks to them and their support of our E-Series. Pops Online, Pops Mowers and Chainsaws and Mowers, whichever way I get it right. Yep. You know, helps us with bringing us the stream each week for the racing. FCS Limited, of course, as well as going to be doing our New Zealand sponsorship. And of course, our man Dirt at Dirt Shop Creations. I mean, the whole thing doesn't exist without him, Kins. So big thanks to all those people. I just thought I'd bring that up too, quickly get the sponsors' names in there before we proceed.
Awesome, mate. You got to recognise though that it helped out. You know, it's what we're about. And talking of recognition, we might also bring in this young man who's taken his time out to join us, stepping up into some real big shoes to front the promotion side of things at Rotorua Speedway and everything like that. TWS Paradise Valley Speedway. Talking of the TWS and the name Ashton. Well, what can I say? Sam's going to join us.
Let's bring him in.
Let's bring in young Sam. Hey, mate.
Hey, boys. How are you?
Yeah, good. How are you?
Pretty tired, eh?
Yeah. So you've been busy for the last few days. You've been at tournament week.
Yeah, I've been at tournament week with a group of under 15 boys from St. Paul's College in Hamilton playing hockey for the last couple of days. So having a group of under 15 boys screaming and yelling at night is not ideal.
Yeah, mate. But overall, good experience for them, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. At that young age, getting out on the field, playing at those games, versus some of the top schools across New Zealand it's good for them.
Yeah, nothing wrong with getting kids out and about on a bit of sports and having some fun and giving it their all, you know. As long as they're having fun, mate, I know it's long nights for you. Boys will keep you awake all hours of the bloody night.
Yeah.
And get up, you know, want to get up later instead of getting up and getting focused on the game at hand. But that's just part and parcel of it.
It is. Like, I think it was midnight last night by the last kid went into bed. So it was a long night and an early start at 7:30 for our last game. So I didn't get many hours of sleep.
Mate, what's part and parcel is your role you're going to step into, filling in some real big shoes, obviously. Just go back to how you actually got involved with the actual track. How did that all come about?
So it was probably about 3 or 4 years ago. I was at a prize giving. I think it was one of my last seasons in the mini stocks, and I went up to Sonia at the end of prize giving and said, I'm interested in taking your role if you're ever going to give it up anytime soon. And she told me, well, if you want to do that, you got to get on the committee and do every single job around and start learning. And so I did the following year, spot on the committee, come up, put my name forward. Sure enough, I was elected onto the committee, and I think the only job I haven't done around the track now is drive a tractor with a race car on the back into the pits. So pretty much done everything possible.
Wow. That takes a fair bit of courage, mate. A fair bit of kahunas to walk up to someone like Sonia and lay that on her in prize giving. Really, because you're only a young man. And wow, I didn't believe it came like that.
Yeah. Well, she probably thought it was a bit of a joke to start with, and then all of a sudden, my name showed up in the committee papers, and she's like, "Oh, well, he is serious," and and she supported me along the way, every step of the way, and learning from her is the best person to learn from. So I'm glad to have her on my side.
Yeah, mate, got to have better to have her on your side than not on your side, if I could say that there. But the name Ashton been associated with Speedway for many years, eh?
Yeah, many years. I think it was my grandfather, Colin. He started. Went on to my dad and uncle Blair and dad Lance and AKA Lala, as everybody knows him. So and then all our my brothers and sisters were racing. My uncle, his boys Dylan, he's racing now. He's living in Hawke's Bay. He was in the Hawke's Bay team at Palmy. So they're all still racing, and now I've decided to go into the promotion side of things. So something different.
Yeah, it is totally different, because there's bloody Ashtons everywhere. Myself and Booker bumped into that when we went up and did the pre-interviews with the drivers as part of the build-up to this year's Superstock Champs. Unfortunately, got rained off, and it's like nearly every bloody Ashton we could think of we're bumping into by their cars. So they say, "Who are you?" And then a young kid come along. "Oh, I'm the young one, blah blah blah, Ashtons." And I tell you what, I got all these Ashton's friend requests on Facebook all of a sudden. But anyway, it's another story. But mate, the name just lives and loves Speedway.
Yeah, it does. And Speedway's been in our blood for as long as I can remember. I think, my sister, her first meeting was probably Palmy teams, So, like we've been going to Speedway since, as long as we can. So, I can't stop going to Speedway anytime soon. So as long as I'm alive, I'll be at Speedway every weekend.
Mate, you said, did you jump out of the mini stock class, was it? So you had a bit of a dabble on the track as a racer?
Yeah, so I did mini stocks, and I've been sharing the super stock with my older brother Brendan. So I've done a couple of meetings in the stock cars or the super, and then I did the New Zealand mini stock team. I made that in my last year. Went over and raced in Aussie, raced a junior sedan. That was quite fun. Did it with my younger brother Caleb, so it was pretty fun. And then had the opportunity to go over to England last year and met up with Frankie Wayman, and he gave me a drive in one of his cars over there. So
wow, that's very cool.
But the and jump into
so it's cool. Say in England, it's hard to get our family. Race, so
I think a few technical issues here, everyone. So for
Yeah.
those who are
Yeah, it's
watching,
come right now.
just bear with us. I think we're having a few internet issues.
It's come right there, Kins, if you can hear me.
Okay, so we're back into so that's all good. So yeah, I can hear you, mate. Yeah, all good. So Sam's done a bit of racing here, there, everywhere. But now, mate, stepping into, like I said right at the intro there, some big shoes. Sonia's done her and Stan, and let alone everyone around the both of them. It's a team effort. Some big shoes to fill in, mate. But, you're up to that challenge, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm up to that challenge. Sonia and Stan, those two have made Rotorua to what it is today. And I know she had help from Graham Hardy and Steve Lane along the way, and they've pulled me aside and said they'll support me as well. So, we're just going to make this club bigger and better. Keep moving forward. And I've got a couple of ideas I want to bring forward, and that's going to happen in the next couple of years. Unfortunately, nothing exciting is going to happen this year. We're going to keep everything the same. No, I don't want to come in with a big hiss and a roar and change everything straight away. And I want to bring things in eventually every now and then, and because I don't want to bring everything in and it all fail, and the club goes from being where it is to right back. Nobody wants to come. So gotta go nice and slow.
All right, mate. Let's talk about some big meetings that's coming up, especially for Superstock fans. Every Superstock driver that we nearly talked to on the show over the time we've been doing the show, you ask them what's their favourite track, 99% of them will say it's Rotorua. They love the speed of what the actual track's made of, but they also love how it's like a dome and all the crowds around the top and everything. So you've got the likes of the charity invitation, the Superstock event coming up 15, 16 December. TWS World 240s, 19-20 January, and the North Island Superstock Champs coming up 22nd, 23rd of March. Some big events, mate, and that's just to name a few. You've got heaps of others coming up for the upcoming season.
Yeah. So we've got 3 big ones for the Superstocks this year. We're going to get the Volvoline charity event under and hopefully get it past the line for the 4th time. We keep getting rained out or COVID's interrupted, so hopefully we can get it past the line. We've added the stock cars to it as well this year, so we've invited 28 stock cars to come along. So it's going to spice things up a bit more for us. So we've dropped the saloon cars and added stock cars, and then we've got the World 240s in January, and hopefully have the Poms back over again because they bring the crowd. Everybody loves the Poms.
Mm-hmm.
And with the performance old Charlie sort of put on last year on the infield was pretty cool. That little dance, and the crowd got right behind him, so it's pretty cool. And we've got the ladies' crown there as well. And I've had 13, 14 emails from South Island ladies wanting to come up and race.
Wow.
So that's taking off as well. And unfortunately, we just don't have the pit space to hold everybody. Otherwise, the event could, it possibly could go for 4 days. It could almost be a week-long event if we had everybody come. So we'll just keep it as it is for now, and hopefully the Poms come back and make it bigger and better and put on a show in the final. And then we have the North Islands, the Hamilton Asphalt's North Island Superstocks, mid or late March. So, it's been a long time since we've had the North Islands actually.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't remember last time we had it and who won. So, it's been a while. So it's glad to have that back, and hopefully we have the drivers come up and support it. It's towards the end of the season, and everybody's getting to the point where they just want to pack up and finish the season. So hopefully we can get the cars there to make it big.
And I say, you'll get the cars there for all of those 3 events. That's just some of the 3 big ones based on one class of super stocks, and other classes. Obviously, everyone knows mini stocks in Paradise. That is back as well.
Yeah, MIP's back this year, and as I'm here, I like to thank Driftcut and Nick Beasley, our club president. He used to sponsor MIP, and he's kindly stepped down as naming rights sponsor, and we're bringing in Stealth Engineering on Mark Osborne to be naming rights sponsor of the event. So that should be quite cool, having a new sponsor on board to take over MIP. So, and we've got Jace from the Pits TV coming up to live stream the event this year, and so we're going to try and make MIP a little bit bigger and get more people to come up and go, it's actually quite cool to watch, because that last heat of MIP is actually kind of good to watch compared to a third heat of a 240s, because those kids drive hard, especially the ones in the top 5. They've actually got to drive because, you can't contact in that. And, if they want to win it, they've actually got to drive through the field. So, and if you compare the guys that have won MIP or podium in the top 3, majority of them now have been an NZ champ or won major titles in other classes. So it's cool to see them come through the mini stock grade and move up into the other grades and start winning things. So, MIP is cool to watch.
Yeah, it's a great class that Buckrell and I like to interview those kids. So Books, you and I, we make it an effort to go and catch up with them in the pits and had them on our show. We had Ricky Cody last year, and she's moving into a stock car class as well, so she no doubt want to have a go at the 240s at their title for the women's. But we love the mini stocks, hey Books.
Yeah, mate. I was just gonna say, we interviewed them and did a bit of a build-up show for it this year, and the kids were fantastic on it. And of course, we had young Deegan Butcher come on, and of course, he won it in his last year of mini stock. So he did really well too. There's another one. You'll see him probably in the super stock this year, I'd say. Well, maybe if his dad lets him, but his dad might want to take the car himself with the New Zealand's been at Meeanee. So, but yeah, the kids did, and like every time we speak to these young kids in the mini stock class, they're just awesome to talk to, and they love it, and it's so good to see that passion, and you guys doing that event, it brings through future champions for sure.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, 2014-15, Parani Peter Bankston, 50 AP was the winner of the last time. We're talking about the North Island Superstocks to be held at Rotorua, so something like that. Or might be 15-16, someone else has just updated it there, Peter Bankston. So somewhere either between 2014, 15, 16, somewhere in that bracket.
If I remember rightly, it's actually the event, we had rain come through halfway through the meeting, and You know, it bucketed down, it poured down, and nobody thought we'd get the track back. And at midnight, stands out there with the saloon cars and the grader grading the track, you know, and we continued racing. I think it was like 1:30 in the morning. And after one heat racing after the rain, we had to bring the water cart back out. The track was that dry that we had to water it again. So I think that was the last time we had it.
So it was no different to the recent 240s that me and Buckrell.
Yeah, it was.
You know, exact same thing, basically, wasn't it?
Old Stan and the team got that track back real quick, though, didn't they? That was amazing work. But speaking of the Stan and also Sonia, are they going to be still there helping out and still guiding you through this season, Sam?
Yeah, so Sonia, she's still going to be a part of Rotorua as well. She's still our club secretary and treasurer. You know, she still loves to be a part of the club, and I don't think we'll ever get her out of the club. She loves Speedway, you know, and Stan, he loves coming to the track every day and hopping in his grader or his water cart and driving around the track. And sometimes I feel like he thinks he's in a super stock again, driving around that in his water cart, you know. So it's cool to have those two around, and they'll be around as long as they can.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. I don't think there's many out there that can get the track back that quick like Stan does he? He doesn't mess around. He's just boom. And I tell you what, the way Stan and Sonia looked after us at the 240s last year was just unbelievable, wasn't it, Kins? You know, I mean, fantastic people. And the meeting was just that 240s meeting. That was my first time actually going to the 240s. I've been to Rotorua plenty of times, but I've never been to a 240s meeting, you know. And wow.
Yeah, I've spent a week with Stan and that up at the track leading up to an event, you know, and the amount of hours Stan puts into the club and onto that track to make it right every weekend, you know, it's ridiculous, you know. Like, and he has a Rod McNaughton, if you know him, the senior referee. You know, he's retired now, so he helps Stan out. He does more laps around that track than some of the drivers have lately. So, you know, those two together have put a lot of effort into this club, you know, and if it wasn't for them, you know, we'd be screwed.
Oh, so when it comes to the because you put all that seating in where you can buy your seats ahead, are you going to be doing that again this season with the big events? You can pre-book and buy your seats?
Yep. Yeah, so you'll be able to buy those tickets online again, pre-sales, and the little corporate seats or the reserve seating up in turn 3 and turns 1 and 2. So they'll go on Ticket Tech, or I can't remember the other one we use. We'll put them out there. I think it might be Ticketmaster, maybe.
Yeah.
And we'll put them out there again for people to buy, because, you know, the higher you go, the better the view is.
Mm-hmm. No,
we enjoyed our seats.
One thing you need to do, mate, just to remind you need to do for 240s, you need to invite one gentleman and one lounge suite, right? A couch, right? You got to invite him back, because he was one of the most entertaining buggers. Both nights, him and his mate was there, but then the mate turned up the next night with the McDonald's and let his mate carry it by himself. But he was a show within himself. The amount of social media coverage he got from walking up those stairs, a legend. So hopefully, if he's watching the show, I don't know who the hell he was. You might know. I hope he comes back.
Yeah, hopefully he comes back. Yeah, I was walking in the pits helping, because I was the manager of the Rascals. I was down there sorting them out, and we heard this big loud cheer, and we all come running up because we're like, "What's happening?" You know, has Sonia put on a little special show or something that nobody does? And as I got up, I saw this couch walking up the staircase, and I was like, "Oh, that's a good effort," you know.
The crowd went off for him, eh? He got cheered all the way around the bottom, and then it sort of went quiet, and the next thing you hear, the crowd erupt, and we looked over, and he's walking up the bloody steps with this thing on top of his head. Oh, it was fantastic. Fantastic, mate.
He had a good seat.
Mate, that just
he definitely did.
Mate, and that just shows me how much fun and good atmosphere it is at Speedway, you know, like that sort of thing was just, you know, and it was just awesome. It just made you feel a part of the event, you know, being watching it and doing that sort of thing, you know, like just really cool. Really cool.
You know, there was even a lady sitting to our right-hand side on turn 2 with the parakeets. Was it parakeets or parakeets?
Birds or something.
Yeah. I think she bought that in her bag, and then as she sat down, she pulled it out.
Yeah.
You know,
they sat there all night, these birds on their shoulders, you know, like incredible.
Who would have thought that they would have not got upset with the noise of the super stocks going around the track?
No, exactly. So obviously we know all about the Superstock racing, the MIP. What other big events have you got scheduled for the upcoming season, Sam? Anything else you want to get out there and promote?
Yeah, we've got the annual triples night we do. So that's quite early in November. I think it's the 25th. So it's quite good. We have Alex Hill from Nelson. He always comes up and supports the event, and we added the street stocks triples in last year, and that was quite a big success. And talking to the rep Shane the other day, he said it's getting bigger with the street stocks. So, the street stocks always put on a good show around Paradise Valley. So, and the triples is always a good night. So that's something Sonia come up with, and and it's actually succeeded really, really well. So we got that one. Our annual Guy Fawkes, our opening night. It's a Friday night, 3rd of November. It's always a biggie. So that one, and then I think we got our big Easter at the end of the year. So a couple of big ones, a couple of the little private events that are quite good to come to and watch. So it should be another good season for us.
Awesome.
It was a guy and lady with the birds in front of us here from Meeanee. Bevan Gilchrist's watching. Daniel Petrie, Sam, you need us to do the World 240s build up at the track before the racing starts. We might be able to plan something on that. No different to the New Zealand Superstock stuff we've done in the past, and the drivers love it, mate. They just get comfortable, and that's what we do. We make them comfortable. We can talk about whatever we want to talk about, and they talk about their sponsors, and we seem to go by their cars, because the reality of it, they get sponsor coverage when we talk to these drivers. It doesn't matter if it was the Superstocks or when we did the modified, same thing. But we'll see what happens, mate. You might have to watch the space there, Dan, and see how we get on. Sam, I know you're most surely feeling a little bit tired because you've had restless nights with under 15s, and you want to get some rest, mate, but we do thank you for joining us tonight. Rotorua Speedway.co.nz is the website, but also Rotorua Stockcar Club Incorporated is a Facebook page. That's where you can keep in touch and find out all the latest at the track and what's going on for the upcoming season. That's right, eh, Sam?
Yep, that's right. Well, I'm here. Friday is the day we'll release our calendar. So at the end of this week, our season calendar should be coming out. So keep an eye out on our Facebook page for our season calendar, and once it's out, start booking some dates, get some accommodation sorted, and we'll see you trackside.
100%.
We've got one accommodation for January.
We're going to be doing some bloody miles this year. Shit.
Anything else you want to add, Sam? In regards to the committee, a young man like yourself, filling in big shoes, it's been welcoming for you to join and just do the role you need to do. Everything's all go, eh?
Yeah, everybody a part of the club, the committee, every club member and that, they're all supportive, they're all there for me. I've had lots of messages supporting me, and but the biggest thanks should go out to TWS, my dad and my granddad, for naming right sponsor of the club. They put a lot into the club and other clubs and the sport in general. So if it wasn't for them, some clubs will be a little bit behind on the 8 ball and stuff like that. So, every club needs a naming right sponsor, a big sponsor like them to help the sport out.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%, mate. You can't do it without your sponsors, and I think it's good. I mean, anyone that knows Speedway knows your granddad and dad have been, the backing of so many events. TWS has been all over the country on different events. So it's so awesome, it really is. So you just can't do it without them. So it's awesome, mate. Big ups to your whole family, and big ups to you taking on such a big job, man. I really wish you the best and well with that. I think your passion shows through, and I think you'll do a fantastic job, mate. So no matter what you see on the Facebook or you're always going to get haters and I'll say it, assholes. Just ignore them, mate. They're the ones that don't engage their brain before they open their shit mixers. So, you'll know you're doing a good job, and don't worry about the haters, mate. There's always someone that'll try and knock you down. So just ignore them.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Sam, have you got some stickers?
Some stickers?
Yeah, because Monique said, I think Kinser and Booker need Sam stickers.
Oh, I know the sticker she's talking about. Yeah, so I've got a couple of 1NZ adult mini stock stickers. I ran a car out at Rotorua at the start of January. They gave the car up, and it was the New Zealand adult mini stocks, and I won it. So John White from the Tool Shed in Rotorua, he's a big supporter of the Rascals and the club. So while I'm here, I've me to thank him. He went behind and got a couple of guys in Rotorua got some stickers made, and he even made me a shirt, and he gave them to me at Mini Stocks in Paris. Said you have to wear it everywhere around. And as I was walking around the club, I saw these stickers popping up, and and all of a sudden all these stickers on cars, and so
Sounds
those are
like
the
what
stickers she's
Kinser did at
talking about.
Huntley, mate.
Yeah.
I went and got us some stickers done for our show, and I put them all over Reed's water truck and the club rooms, every bloody place,
Yeah.
So we'll trade some stickers when we catch up with you next, mate. Trackside. We'll swap some
Perfect.
stickers
Sounds good.
around. Good luck, mate. Awesome club, Ross Ashby. Caught up with Horse in the weekend. Looking forward to it. So, what did Wayne Otten put something here? I saw. Where did I see there? Should rename turn to Cockpit Corner. All right, Wayne. You get these cheeky buggers, mate. Sam, we'll be here for you, mate, for any promotional stuff, any interviews you need done for the track. Like Booker said through the interview, Stan and Sonia looked after us very well at the 240. So we can only but do what we know is to repay you that favour and have a chat with you like we are tonight. And we'll be there to help support you, mate. And wish you all the best. And we'll catch up trackside soon, mate.
Yep, perfect. Sounds good to me.
Cheers,
Awesome.
Sam.
Cheers. Thank
Thanks,
you,
mate.
Thank you.
Oh, I think
Young
you'll
man
do
from
well.
behind the
Kinser,
wheel
young
now
man.
become promoter. He will do well. He'll do extremely well. Let's bring in man that's in your neck of the woods, Books, down in the come on, the bay.
Meeanee, mate. Come on, the bay. There he is. Oh, he's just having a cuppa.
There he is. Having a cuppa. James Buckrell, how are you, James?
No, how's it going, guys? All right?
Yeah, good, mate.
Good, mate. We you would have heard that having a chat with a young man that stepped in some big bloody shoes. But you only can wish him well going forward with the volunteers and with the track and everything like that, eh?
No, he'll do well. He's a hell of a nice guy. I've had quite a bit to do with Sam and the Ashtons and Olala. Awesome family. So, and what a mentor and Sonia. They'll do well. He'll do well.
Yeah.
And we're just talking about the short turnaround with the season. The young fella's out there in the shed playing with the welding machine, is he?
No, I was just texting him. That was last night. He's doing his course for his trade. He's an apprentice engineer. So,
Okay.
So he's I think he's watching me.
Hey, I suppose the big thing is it's we'll get out there straight away. The Meeanee is now going to be club run.
Yeah, it's the first time we've been club run after I think 12 years of having promoters.
Yep.
We decided that's a financial reason and also a little bit of club morale and that to get back being club run. We've got some really good guys on the board. Some really awesome people want to help. So we need to take that next step. As a club, I personally feel that we've let it slip a bit in the way of facilities. When you look at like Rotorua and Woodford Glen, Wellington's a good example. We just needed to go in a different direction. Bruce and Puck have been, and Philippa Jones, those three, they've done an awesome job at home. Yep. With the racing, the way they run the meetings, and Philippa was really good to deal with, and Bruce and Puck. But just as a club, we needed to go in a different direction. It wasn't the fact that we, that we wasn't needing them back. Their contract had finished. So, us as a board and that we decided to go in a different direction and sort of take a bit of our own destiny, be in charge of our own destiny.
That's awesome, mate.
Good. Yeah, that's good. That's a great way to look at it too, because look, it's your home track. We know that. Your son's got to be on there and everyone else that it's a home away from home. No different to what young Sam was talking about, the amount of time that Stan and Sonia had put into their track and the other volunteers. You welcome it back. You've got it back and you're going to do what you want to do, mate, and only build up and go forward. And it's bloody great news. I think that's awesome news.
Oh, you're right. Like we've got some, and every club's got this. We've got some huge history there with a lot of Speedway families, like the Penns, the Bryce Penn starting there, the Warners, the Longs, the Flynns and the Super Slins, Steve Todd and Craig Todd and the TQ. So there's a lot of rich history dating back to 1965. And I'm only a small part of it. But I want to see our club succeed. When I walk away one day, obviously, my boys are there, you know, in the super stock. I've got my youngest boy starting in the mini stock this year. So I'll be back to MYP with bumper corners hanging off it. You know, so it's, and there's a lot of guys in the club, you know, like the O'Briens, you know, the McLaughlins. Everybody wants to help, and there's quite a big buzz behind it going forwards. We've got David Jones being our promoter. You know, obviously he was club president. He also ran the last time we were club run. He was the promoter for us, and then he went obviously to carry on to be president of Speedway New Zealand. So, you know, we've got some pretty good people behind us. You know, Regan O'Brien, as I said, Mark Alexander, he's got the sprint cars and all that. A lot of great sponsors. So we need to move forwards. You know, if you look at our club, you know, we spend a lot of money there with new lights over the last 4 years around the pits and also around the track. You know, people got to remember, it wasn't that long ago we couldn't have a meeting. It would rain, the track was good, but the pits were muddy. You know, but we've sort of come to a point now where we need to really spend some big money. Our pit offices need to be replaced. I mean, they'd have been there since ever I can remember, even when I was a kid. And we're not talking little money, you know, it's not nickel and dime stuff. She's hundreds of thousands. So we have to have a strategic 5 and 10 year plan about how we're going to get there, how we're going to do it, and go forwards. So
that's awesome. Well, we've got the big event too coming up this year at Meeanee, which should help things with the New Zealand champs. Just after New Year's, 5th and 6th, is it 5th and 6th?
5th and 6th, yeah.
Yeah, 4th, 5th, and 6th. So the Thursday will be the shakedown meeting or a practice, whatever you want to call it. You know, where you can bring your car and get into it. And then the Friday and the Saturday night will be the, you know, qualifying Friday, racing Saturday. Sunday would be a rain out. Hopefully that ain't going to happen.
Yeah.
We normally say Hawke's Bay's got great weather, but I can't say that after the last year, can I?
No, we've had it. We've been hit. That's for sure. It's how much did that affect the club this season? Do you think, James, with the cyclone hitting us here?
Not so much the club, maybe a little bit. It was probably more promotions. I really felt for Philippa, Bruce, and Puck. You know, and hats off to them. When they had the midgets down, most people would have closed the meeting, but they did their best to bring that track back, and it was an awesome track for the midgets. You know, all these, you've got to look at that. These guys have all travelled, you know, and sometimes we get it wrong, but it is, rain is the biggest problem in any club, in any track. As you guys know, there's nothing worse than travelling out of town and all of a sudden you get a rain out. We always have a standing joke when we're going somewhere: if you don't turn the windscreen wipers on, it's not raining.
Well, you know, it's like you said, James, that was every single track up and down this country, because weather affected many race meetings. I gave up on how many times a meeting was either canned or postponed. I last lost count when I heard somewhere it was in the vicinity of 50 plus, you know. It was a season not to remember. And if I just go back to, as an example, the Huntly Speedway track, what they endured after having all these big meetings allocated to them. First, it was the bloody COVID. Then, of course, it was the wet weather. But, you know, perseverance seems to be the word that comes to mind, that a lot of people behind the scenes, the volunteers, the track preparers, let alone the drivers and everything, because it's just been a rubbish bloody season when it's come to the weather.
Oh, it has. I mean, us personally, for example, with the New Zealanders, you know, we went there, we did the practice. So all our accommodations already booked. It was rained off. You just got to walk away from it. I think it was around $4 or $5 grand I wasted this year in hotel rooms and fuel, just, you know. But that's just me. I mean, imagine everybody else would have the same story. It's really hard for a club, or, you know, as a track running a promotion, you know, running an event. You've already paid for the advertising. You've already paid for St. John's. And to close the meeting, a lot of thousands of dollars there. I feel for Huntley, and I take my hat off to Red and all of them up there. What do? You just got to keep going. You know, you got to persevere. You got to get into it. We all love Speedway, so we want to make it happen. But yeah, it must have been hard on some of those, on the bigger meetings like Huntley and a few of those guys.
Yeah, it definitely is, mate. We talked about the NZ Superstock Chance coming up early January. Mark Goodman's got a question. Any other events you are able to share with us that's on the Meeanee 23-24 calendar? Anything, or when
Yeah,
that's going to be released?
It's going to be released next week.
Okay.
Same as what Samuel was saying. Most tracks sort of wait until after the Speedway New Zealand AGM. That's one of the first things you do down there is all the tracks give each other their calendars, and we start working out, oh geez, I can't run that weekend because you're running your billy car, it's no good. So we've got a calendar, yes. We just want to finalise a few things, and it'll be out next week. I said at the information meeting we had that we didn't want to change too much. We don't want to give too much of a shock to the system, if that makes sense. But there are going to be some improvements we're going to look at that, nothing big, but this first year is going to be a bit about finding our feet and improving what we got.
Yeah.
And did I see something about you're not going to change the ticket prices either? You're going to stick to the standard ticket prices so the families can still go in and.
Yep, we're definitely going to stick to the price to get in. We are going to look at giving a gold card discount like Rotorua and a few of them do. Because a lot of people are finding it hard. As a promoter or as a club, we can sort of look at things like that. It is a business, yes, but we also got to look after our members in our club. It's a bit of a fine line, but we also need to make money. To be able to spend it and
with that New Zealand Superstock Chance coming up, and young Sam spoke about it, online ticket sales?
Most probably. We haven't discussed too much of that. I mean, yeah, we've got the event. We're still working on sponsors and that sort of stuff. We want to get that out pretty quickly. There's been 10 years since we last had it. I actually sponsored it the last time we had it. It was in 2014.
I sat there all day for that one.
It was bloody hot too.
Yeah, I know.
But it was a huge event, and we're really looking forward to it. To be honest, some of our decision in going back club run, the opportunity was there. Obviously, the New Zealand Superstocks was there for us to do, and you've got to look at that. That's just a business decision. But it's going to be a great meeting. We're going to form a sub board off to the side to purposely just for that meeting, because we want to get it right, and not just New Zealand Superstocks, the whole season. We need to get this right. There's been a few naysayers in the other corner saying that we're going to fall over, we're not going to do it right. Well, I tell you now, anybody that knows me and knows the team that I've got around me, we're not going to let that happen. There's no way in the world.
Good on you.
I think that comes back to Kins, like what I said before to Samuel. Like you're always going to get those people that have got nothing better to do than bag you and try and knock you down when you're doing good. So they're the ones we just ignore, isn't it? I mean, I think that every effort and every resource we put into this club this year to make it happen, and I have complete faith that we're going to be awesome, and then we're going to come out and win teams as well, so.
Yeah, and you're right. I had that when I took over the Hawkeyes. They hadn't won, they'd never won, and you're always going to get people saying, "Oh, you need to have this person, or you should take this person. That person shouldn't be in there." The likes of Murray Long, myself, and a few others, we had a plan of going forwards, and to be fair, hey, the trophies are in the cabinet now, so it must have been the right decision. With the Hawkeyes, we've been a bit hard in the last couple of years. We had some guys leave us, and not because of the club or us and like that. They had sponsorship deals out of town, and I fully understand and respect that. I mean, these cars aren't cheap to run. No. But we're rebuilding, and we'll be back out there as a force again. I can guarantee you that. Same with Stockcar.
You know what I like about the Hawkeyes is that you've got some of the biggest fans around the countryside, and they're so proud of what the boys achieve out there on the track. Those ones who are loyal to you don't give a stuff who's in the car or not, because if they get the result, like you said, James, and the trophy's been in the cabinet back to back, who cares what anyone else thinks, but you've got a big support. And once that song goes up, Come On the Bay, that's all you hear, especially in that grandstand where Mark Eagle and all his mates bloody sit there yanging away there. mate, you've got some good support. And I've seen that too with the opening night recently at Hawke's Bay. The crowd, you couldn't even find a spare place to sit your bum down, So you've got some good numbers, you've got good following. And, mate, I think you've got a lot of good support, and there's a maximum supply of supporters around you. It's only a little stupid sting, minimal little bit that's going to be a thorn in your ass. But forget about them, mate. Forget about them.
Exactly. I'm not interested in the naysayers. I mean, you get that no matter what you're doing in life, if you're trying to achieve something or you're going for something, there's always going to be somebody over in the other corner flapping their gums. I'm not interested.
No.
Results speak for it. The old story, facts trump bullshit. So
yeah.
There's a couple of things I can sort of let you in on. We're going to be opening in Labour Weekend, the Saturday night of Labour Weekend, not the Sunday for a change. So a little bit different. I think Wellington's opening on the Sunday, I think. So I think we're going to be, we're trying to work in with a lot more tracks as well, the likes of Rotorua and Gisborne and Palmerston and all that. And just, you've got to work in with other tracks. There's no point running a stock cars something if you've got stuff on somewhere else,
Yeah.
You've got to try and work. And it's not always going to work, but we're doing our best. Obviously, we've got the Guy Fawkes meeting. That's always going to be a huge one. We've got some pretty good stuff planned for that. We're basically going to run super stocks all the way until the New Zealand champs. And, because people want to try the car and all that. We're going to have a shakedown meeting on the 27th of December, which is sort of your last chance to come and pedal it around the track before the big show. We've got some pretty exciting stuff. We got the, I think it's the North Island, or might be the GPTQs.
Yes, yep, that's right.
And
I saw that earlier, yeah.
And also the Street Stock GP as well.
Yeah, someone's written here, New Zealand TQ GP and North Island Street Stocks.
Street Stocks.
I knew it was one of the two. I always get it mixed up. Which one? So that's going to be on our calendar. The dates are finalised, but I haven't got it in front of me at the moment. It's in the office at work. At the moment, I'm actually using the wife's office at home. So,
hey, someone put in a comment here. Bring back BJ Pie Cart, Dave Thomas.
We are going to be selling BJ pies at the track. We're going to look at doing stuff in the bar, which is one of the biggest things. One of our old life members said to us, we used to have a committee for a social side, and so we've actually started a social committee because we want to get the social side of the club back again, even more. Like in the club rooms, running the bar, barbecues, stuff like that. Even Easter egg hunts for the kids, trying to get that club morale back, and I think that's important. And sometimes you let that slip. Just everyone's busy, and you turn around, and all of a sudden you're not doing what you used to do. So sometimes you need to stop and have a bit of a cup of tea and a smoke, in my case, and have a look.
I'll tell you what, you talk about bringing back that morale and the club stuff again, and me and Kins have been talking for a while, but we want to come down and do maybe a Legends night in the club rooms live. So we might have to talk about that and get a night in the club rooms and get everybody down there and do a Legends night and do it live and promote the club and promote the Hawke's Bay history.
Perfect. And those are the sort of things we're looking at. Any ideas like that? I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, I spoke to Regan a couple of times about that. So I might have to get hold of you and work out some dates. I think James and me and Kins will come down and do a Legends night and promote the club that way and get in the club rooms and do a big live night like we've done at Stratford and Palmy and Huntley. So yeah.
So we've got Claire and Mike Mack and Melissa running the social side of the club. So we all know Mike Mack, and we all know Mike Mack's like a little party. So he's coming as Mike Claire are probably the best people to run that over there, and they'll do a fantastic job. One of the things, as I said to our board the other day, I brought up, is when you're in the pits and you're in the club, you spend a lot of time worrying about the racing, the track and the club, but you don't actually go out into a lot of us don't actually go out into the arena and be a customer. And I mean a customer like Joe Blogg's coming with his family to watch the event. So I went out there at the Autumn Nationals because it was absolutely packed. And I was quite surprised at some of the things I found. Like my wife come along with her friends to watch Speedway, and she's not a Speedway fan at all. But she enjoys coming every now and then. And that was quite good getting a different perspective of what's around. The likes of food, we got to look at what we're doing there. We need some more different food vendors, and because people's appetites have changed, toilets, just general things, how to make the show better. And the show's not necessarily on the track.
No.
The shows is about getting people in and out of the gate. How long you're waiting for your food? How long you're waiting for you go to the toilet? A lot of little things you need to get right.
Yeah.
So that was quite an interesting concept we had to look at.
It's all about family comfort these days, because it's a family entertainment show. And if they can keep their kids happy and everything like that, you've got the food covered. The amenities of the actual facility goes a long way. And if they're comfortable and they hopped in their car, head home, they will come back to that. They will, because they've been looked after. And that's something that a lot of tracks really what you're saying, James, is really need to look at and talk about, because things have changed compared to 2014. You had the New Zealand champs there. A lot of it has changed now. And facilities is a big bloody thing. Booker's working on an extension to his camper to house everyone that weekend, because Tan's asked, is there going to be accommodation?
Yeah, so what they're asking there, James, is on the New Zealands, are people going to be allowed to sort of camp in the car park overnight for the Friday to the Saturday?
Yes.
Yep. And will there be a charge, do you think? Or be like a $5, $10 or something? Or
yeah, it's we're going to look at that. I don't want to make it expensive. It's some people or some places when they have the New Zealand super stocks, they sort of gouge everybody. We don't want to do that. We want value for money. We want people to come along, and we've got an area where all the campers are going to park. Make sure one of the toilets are open and accommodate them, because that's a big part of it,
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think another thing, I mean, you're talking about how you want to improve you're talking about improving it by being a customer as well and looking at the food side and all the rest of it. But I think one of our biggest things, I think, for Meeanee at the moment is logistically getting in and out of the place with all the traffic having to go one way now. We lost that one-way bridge. Have you guys looked at ways to sort of improve that, or are you looking at ways to do something there, or?
You get in a situation where, we got a bridge out, and I don't think that's going to be replaced for quite some time.
No.
But there are a way where you used to turn off there. You can actually go right around and come back the other way.
Yes.
So we're going to look at ways of trying to, work out the traffic, but we are stuck with what we got. You know what I mean? It's the old story. It's like trying to make a silk purse out of a sow's ear. It is what it is.
Yeah.
We've got to try and make the best of a bad situation. And as you know, we have had a lot of troubles in Hawke's Bay. Luckily enough, nothing happened to the track or the club, just everything around it.
Yeah.
So we're pretty lucky, obviously. But yeah, it's just going to, and also the people that are coming sort of need to prepare, knowing that it's going to be hard to get out because we've only got one way, not two ways now.
Yeah.
A little bit like Rotorua. Rotorua is very much like that. There's only one way out.
Yes.
So when you go to Rotorua, you say, okay, I'll get there a bit earlier, or you expect a bit of a wait to leave at the 240s, New Zealand's, or whatever. So that's just going to be part of it, unfortunately.
Yep. Yeah, part and parcel of it. Madu Goodley ever thought of doing a fan zone at the pitch, James? Look, I'm guessing there's a lot to be discussed, Madu. Heaps of things at the moment. Dan's asking about tent sites. Look, this is just part of the build-up, and there's a lot of work that James and his committee have to do with the event. So for those who are asking about the calendar next week, just keep in touch maybe on the Meeanee Facebook page or something like that, social media platforms, or even the website, everything like that. But it's going to be a big season at Meeanee. And I know one man that looks forward to this man sitting here in front of me, Mr. Booker. But, mate, that Legends night, I'm there. Yeah. I can't wait. Yeah. I can't wait to be there. And
I think that every single person that supports Hawke's Bay or goes for New Zealand's has to learn the song, all right? Come on the Bay song, right? Because I'm going to try and get, everyone tries to get a Mexican wave going. I'm going to get there and try and get the song going. How's that? I reckon that'd be better, eh?
If you got if someone's trying to get a Mexican wave going, that's because the crowd's bored.
Yeah. Well, that's right too. It is normally, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Or that person's really, really drunk. Yeah.
Just want to touch on one thing you're saying about the camping. Someone said about a tent. It's only going to be self-contained units only.
Oh, okay. So no tents.
Yeah. No shanty tents.
So if I had a tent parked up beside me that could use all my self-containment, would that work or no?
Now you put them on the spotlight, mate.
I'd have to put the forks of the tractor through it, mate. So,
your young fellas watching, mate. Jake, is James thinking about jumping on the welder tomorrow on the Superstock? You going to do that, mate?
Yeah.
Tell them yes, because I'm going to be in Christchurch for the Speedway SNZ AGM. Yeah, I'll be there.
There you go. There you go, mate. You'll be there. Special invite for SVG for the New Zealand Supers. He'll probably win the bloody thing. Oh, I don't know, mate. Not in Super
I don't think there might be one he might not win, I'd say.
Yeah. Oh, pity paying the insurance costs on having them bloody racing one of those things. Poor buggers.
Yeah. But no, with the New Zealand's, as time goes along, there's going to be a lot of stuff coming out. You know, we want to look at entertainment. You know, hopefully we have a hot day, but, you know, we want to look at entertainment, how to involve the crowd a bit more into it. I'm personally not a big fan of all the cars being parked on the track because you sit there looking at them from a distance. You know, I want to, whether we park them on the track and the people come out to look at them or it stays in the pits, or I don't quite know. We've got a few things to work out, but I want to engage the public a bit more in what we're doing, and try and look at some on-track entertainment.
Yeah.
So set up an autograph table by the car with the drivers, with some posters, and get all the families and the kids to have an autograph session next to the driver of their favorite driver of the cars. There you go.
The worst thing with that, it's like trying to line up a whole lot of chickens.
Yeah.
They keep running off.
Hey, I was talking, I mean, I remember a long time, I don't know what event it was a while ago, a few years now, scrutineering on Marine Parade. Is that sort of a thought? Do a scrutineering away from the track and engaging the whole town and people, or no?
Yeah, we did think of that. It's good for that side. It's bad when you're like, if you think about it, you go all the way to Napier, and you know Napier's not that good at the moment in the way of getting around. You got to unload all your gear, go through scrutineering, then load it back up, then go to the track, unload, then find a park. We're probably going to do it the same way we did it in 2014.
Oh yeah, next
where
door.
You come into the park, you unloaded, your car went through scrutineering. In the meantime, we'll park you because we haven't got a bad size pits. But if we get, you know, like if you look at the New Zealand stock cars when we had that, you know, how many cars we had in trying to fill the pits and give them the parking right. It's a bit of a mammoth job. So, and we've got to make sure it runs smooth and making sure the groups are sorted, you know, and the flow of it goes right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, totally understand. All right, Books, me and you will go and join Mike up in the commentary box and start singing Come On the Bay and get the crowd up and going and joining us. Everyone wants to hear
Well, we're going to do a big build-up
okay.
show for the New Zealands anyway, so
yeah,
well, that's for sure. And hopefully come down.
Come on, the Hawke's Bay Hootenannies. Hawke's Bay Hootenannies.
I'm looking forward to the new season. Actually, this season I'm really pumped for it. To be honest, I think that the weather's gone and we're going to be good all season for everybody. And I think Meeanee's going to have an absolutely fantastic season, and we're going to take out Team Champs. There you go. You heard it first here, people.
And that's the positivity you want. That's exactly it. That's 100% positive. That's what you need behind you, James, to make things work for you for the season. That's exactly it.
You know, and that's the thing, you know, like obviously we're racing cars, so on the actual night, but we've got a great team about us. You know, we've got great volunteers, and the old story, the more hands make light work. And we want people to be involved, and it's their club, you know.
Yeah.
Whatever money we make, it's their money.
Yeah.
You know, things, and that's what I tried to explain to them. When we take money off you, for whether it's, you know, getting in an event or whatever the case may be, it's not like we're putting it to the side and going to the pub. It's going straight back into your facilities.
Yep.
So, and everything's laid on the table. anybody wants to see it, this is where it's going. This is what we're doing. You know, it's your club. It's your money.
Yeah,
We're
mate,
just trying
awesome.
to make sure you get a better event, you know, better facilities.
So AGM next Wednesday night for Meeanee?
Yep, next Wednesday night. Yeah, a couple of interesting facts there. I won't say it now, but yeah, there's a little bit of funny stuff will come out of that.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So can anybody, any of your supporters come and be at the AGM and vote and watch or listen? Or do you have to be a member?
You can have an observer come along. You can come in if you want. You're not allowed speaking rights or voting, obviously, but we do have a social membership for the club now. I've forgotten what it is off the top of my head. I probably should know it, but so you can be a social side of the club. You don't have to be a race car driver to be a member of Meeanee Speedway, and come along and we would try to keep pushing that and get more people involved. You know.
Oh, I might have to join as a social member, Kins, I think. Hey.
Yeah, that's us, mate. That's us. Let's do it. You know, it's yeah, that's us, mate. I'm into that. Let's do it.
Yeah.
You know,
there we go.
The old days at Meeanee Speedway, you talk to Mike Mack and Regan O'Brien, and that when they were kids, they'd have to go and sleep in the car or fall asleep under the table because the old parties would be rolling on.
Yeah.
And like Wanganui's always been good to get on, have a good night down there. Christchurch, Steve Lennon, all of them's another one. I think the biggest one was probably Greymouth when we were down there between the New Zealands and the GP. I think Speedway is almost an inconvenience to them. But that's what it's, you know, that's what it's about. You know, Speedway's a big family, and we all catch up during the season, and we all stand around having a few beers, you know, flapping our gums, and it's actually the social side of it is what I enjoy just as much as the racing. Yeah.
Well, this year, I found this season that all the drivers and the interaction with us as a new media starting out this season was fantastic. Akins, the drivers and the way people were towards each other and the stuff, it was just fantastic, I thought. And a lot of stuff that happened on the track stayed on the track, which for years hasn't really sort of been as much as that, you know. Like, it's good. We were talking to Charlie Swarter the other week, and he couldn't believe it that, you know, in that third race, he had Jaden Ward and Ashton that smashed the shit out of him. And then they come and want to buy him a beer afterwards, you know. It's and that's what our Speedway over here is all about, isn't it?
Oh, it's good. And the likes of what you just said, what you guys are new, and that, you know, at the New Zealand, you're interviewing every driver, even though I was in the background flapping my gums, having a problem. By the way, I was technically right there too.
Yeah, I know.
We could hear you, James. We could hear you.
Yeah.
I actually went back and watched that, and I was like, Jesus Christ. But no, you know, like,
carry on.
Would love to have you guys back at our New Zealand's doing that as well. You know, you guys did an awesome job, and this is all part of it. This is all part of promoting Speedway, not just super stocks. You know, whether you're in a street stock, a TQ, or a production saloon, it doesn't matter. And that's the one thing I tried to. I said to all the club the other day when we had our meetings. You know, even though we're in super stocks, I enjoy watching all Speedway. And what Sam said about the mini stocks in Paradise. Jacob and I actually went up there this year, even though we're not in it. We just wanted to sit up there and watch Quentin Buckrell, Chucky, and Mike Mack run around like little rats, little mice. But it's an awesome meeting. If you enjoy good racing, mini stocks is actually some of the best racing to watch in any time you want to see it.
Well, we had actually planned to go and do the scrutineering for it this year or that year, but because Kinser's also a councillor, you see.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So he got called into council duties, so he had to cancel. So he had to go wear a kilt and be a Scotsman for a day, you know. The Maori Scotsman, he was. So
the Maori Scotsman, yes. So I was appointed in a big key role for the whole day. I was the chef, some bloody flash word they use, mate, and I thought I had to fill in for the mayor and everything. So, hey, but I'll be voters for this next one though. Look, there's just been some amazing comments coming on through, James, for the whole thing, giving you a lot of credit for yourself, stepping up to the role, what you're doing, you know, and everyone behind you. There's a lot of support. I can read it all about it, and we'll be here all night. So it's just going to be a hell of a season. Like we said earlier in the show, the calendar will be out next week. There's just so much good feedback in our comments.
There's a lot of
wishing and
support for
team
you
all the
there.
best. There is a lot of support. That's what I'm saying. You got some big fans up and down the country, you know. It's bloody good, mate, and that's what you need, and that's what's going to help you and your committee drive through and bring on some successful events, obviously, throughout the upcoming season. James, we could sit here and talk all night. I know you got to get out and do what you got to do, and safe travels down to Christchurch, mate. And, you know, like I said with Sam, the two of us will be there by you to support you and whatever you need us to do for you and promote and whatnot. I know we're going to do a build up to the actual Superstock Champs week's worth, most probably. So, yeah, we're just a phone call away. Just hassle that fella there and we'll be there, mate. You just hassle him.
Appreciate it, guys.
Cheers. Thanks, James.
Mate.
Thanks, mate.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.
See ya. So there we go, everyone. Great show tonight, actually. Something different that we've done, talking to promoters of tracks with upcoming events for the upcoming season. Earlier on, Sam Ashton, who stepped in some big shoes, taking on the reins there at, of course, TWS Paradise Valley Speedway. And, of course, James Buckrell, who's took up the big role there at Meeanee Speedway as well. So the place to race, plenty of events coming up. As Sam said, the calendar comes out for Rotorua on Friday. And, of course, next week you can see what's on the calendar coming up for Meeanee Speedway. That's just something different we bring through on a shared night, not specifically talking to drivers, but talking to the people who do all the hard work behind the scenes. You know, the entertainment is left out there on the track when it comes to the drivers. Doesn't matter what class it is, but it's all the work that we want to recognize done by all of those people who eat, sleep, and breathe Speedway and put on the big show for you fans out there. And we'll be back on Sunday with part of the Capital RC 2023 Superstock E-Series. My mate here, Booker, will be doing the chewing the fat, talking all the stuff on the old channels. Yeah, man, doing the hootenanny. And we'll be back next Wednesday.
Absolutely.
And this truck, actually. Do the live show from your truck.
Next Wednesday, next Wednesday I'll be on the road to the beach, hopefully, so I'll be live from the camper. So tune in for that one. It could be interesting. But hey, take care, everyone. Have a good week. Enjoy, and we'll see you Sunday. Thank you very much.
Cheers, everyone. See you later.
Welcome along, everyone. What was it like, that experience, jumping into your first race?
It's been my life ever since I can remember.
Look, it really was unbelievable.
I think it's awesome.
Just go out there and give it your all every time. And
when you're young and you get in your old man Superstock and you wreck it, I mean, it's pretty cool.
Craig Booker with the big smile. He is the voice that's behind what you get to hear every Sunday night.
Give it the hootenanny. Look at that field. Doesn't it look fantastic?